Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome. Good stuff. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a review for The Flash. We're also going to be talking about Disney, the MCU, and where Marvel's going, and basically what I think it's going to be going on in the future with these two companies or whatever. No spoilers either. Just going to give you a generalized pros and cons of what I think. First things first, though, let's just get it out of the way. I don't want to hear nothing about no Ezra Miller. All right, I want to hear nothing. All right, you know, if Ezra Miller did this, that, and the third, or whatever, I don't care. Like, to be honest, like, I don't really care. Right? If there's evidence that he did stuff, then for sure he should go to court. And if they find him guilty, he should pay accordingly. Go to prison, whatever, anything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know anything, bro. Like, I don't keep up with celebrity gossip. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to punish the stuff that I love, which is like the DC stuff, the DC characters that I enjoy, just because I hate one dude, you know what I mean? Who's not even the real Flash. He's just an actor who's playing the Flash. It's not like the Flash did these things. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear none of that. I don't like keeping up with none of that celebrity gossip or whatever. And it's just, I don't care. Like, if the guy's guilty, try him, find the evidence, try him, give him his due process, and do what you got to do. With that being said, we can review the movie objectively for what it is. All right. This movie is what I was hoping that the Multiverse of Madness was going to be, which is a satisfying conclusion or a reset to the universe, right? Because I was hoping that the Multiverse of Madness was going to use the opportunity of the multiverse to recast characters like T'Challa, stuff like that, but it did nothing. It meant nothing. The multiverse didn't mean anything in there. But here it seems like the multiverse does matter, and it means like it does reset things, and it does open an exciting possibility for recasting characters and bringing in new characters and shifting things. So they use the multiverse as a cheat card to reset all the problems that they're having behind the camera, which I think is pretty good, which is very clever in my opinion. The story flowed very nicely. Like, it flowed nicely. It never took me out of it. I was never like, man, this thing's dragging. No, it just flowed nicely from one scene to the next. And the scenes that were meant to be funny were funny. The scenes that were meant to be serious were serious. You got your action in between here and there. They weren't like super extensive or bloated action either. So it just felt good. It felt like a good flow for the movie. And I thought it was good. The jokes, in my opinion, most of them landed. Some of them didn't. But the writing was very strong overall. So there was a lot of like good lines in there, but there was also like some subtle irony that some of the characters used that I picked up on. That was just really cool. Batman was awesome, dude. If you're a Batman fan, you should probably check this out for sure, because in my opinion, this is probably like the best action fight scenes for Batman in any movie, right? I think the only other fight scene that I can think of that's on level with these is the warehouse scene from Batman versus Superman. But that is like that's a critique that I've always had about the Christopher Nolan Batman movies and the Patterson Batmans, is that Batman was always like kind of stiff when he was boxing people. But here in this film, it felt like you were in an Arkham Asylum game. You know what I mean? Like it was a nice flow where he was just fighting everybody, using gadgets, throwing batarangs, kicking dudes in the face, dodging bullets and everything. It just felt like Batman was the best fighter in the room, 100%. So that was awesome. I really enjoyed that part. Supergirl was badass. She had like this kind of anger to her, which is understandable. Like, I totally get it, because Kara is a true Kryptonian, and the fact that she grew up in Krypton, so she does not have that connection to Earth the way Clark Kent did, because he grew up here. She came over here as a full-blown Kryptonian. So again, I really like this version of her. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting this version of her in the movie, in the next movie, The Girl of Tomorrow, but maybe she can pull it off. I don't know. A pretty strong performance. Next one is going to be Ezra Miller, Flash. He was pretty funny. Like, he was funny at times. He did a great job of acting with himself, because there was like two Barry Allens, and he did a very good job of, you know, playing off himself. Like, that was good. That was good. And I really liked his personal story of the whole thing with his mom. You know, like that was like really heartfelt. Like, I could feel it tugging at my heartstrings, man. And I think the fact that his mom was a Latina, I think that kind of hit even a little bit harder for me because of that. So I think the writing was very strong. So here's the cons. CGI. The CGI, whoa, was, you know, at times. A lot of times, some of the characters that were like CGI created looked like, they looked like wax dolls, like wax characters or whatever. But the story was strong enough to where I could look past the CGI. Because here's the thing about CGI, man. I love movies from the 90s, and I still enjoy them even with the crappy CGI. I grew up with watching the Beast Wars cartoon of the 90s, and I thought that was like top-notch CGI. Like, man, this is it. And but I still enjoy it. I think we, in this era, we're a little bit more spoiled with our CGI. But I think that, yes, they should try to do their best with CGI, but at the same time, I'm not going to hold the whole CGI thing against them, all right? Because I do not want them to get the message that that's the big thing that we care about. I think the most important things are stories and and the stories and the integrity of the characters. CGI, we can mess with that. I don't want the studios to get the message that are saying, hey, this is we care about CGI, like that's the most important thing to us, because I don't think it's true, and I don't want to contribute to that kind of message. All right. The other thing is that it didn't have like that, like a lot that kind of excitement for, like, there's like a general excitement for DC going forward, but there wasn't like a huge reveal that's like, oh my God, this is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like a lot of Marvel movies, MCU at the height of that, you know, those end credit scenes where it was just like, oh, this is where we're going. You know, there was none of that. And a lot of it's because we are in a transitioning phase. So, but however, it did feel like a satisfying reset. And the fact that I think the story was great, I think it's going forward. Now, I don't think that this movie is going to do well financially. All right. Just because it has so many things going against it, like the Ezra Miller stuff. And also, like, it's sandwiched right in between a bunch of blockbusters, and that whole stigma over DC, you know, over like the mess that they've made. And a lot of it's because most superhero fans are Marvel fans. And so there's still like a little bit of a Marvel bias going on that I think people are kind of hesitant to kind of pivot towards DC. And I think a lot of it has to do with because people haven't really discovered DC. And a lot of people, I don't think, want to make that change. Like, you know, they're like, oh man, I know all this stuff about Marvel. I don't want to be like a noob again. I don't want to feel like a noob again. So I completely get it, you know, but I think that's going to be like a bias that they're going to have to overcome. However, I think with time, I think that we're going to be seeing this. I think that this movie is going to be seen as the turning point for DC. And I think that if Disney and Marvel continues to be going, because apparently they're going down. Nothing's good's coming out of Marvel right now. Like, it's just a bunch of bad news coming out for there. And if that trajectory continues, eventually people are going to make that transition over, I think, or they're going to be like, oh, they're finally going to be giving DC their roses or whatever. So I think the most important thing is that this is a good movie, and I think that DC is on the right path, and I think that they should stick to it. Don't change anything, just keep going, and, you know, do the best, stick to the stories, stick to the integrity of the characters, and trust me, the money will come. As far as like the MCU, because the MCU is like they're in such bad shape right now. They're so bad. They're like, there's like, just yesterday there was bad news coming out, And it doesn't help for Marvel that their best movies that have come out since Endgame has been 2 Sony movies. Pretty much 2 Sony movies have been pretty much 2 of the 3 best movies coming out of Marvel. And the other one is Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which is directed by James Gunn. James Gunn is in charge of DC now. So you smell what I'm stepping in here. Do you smell what I'm stepping in here? All right. I think in the long run, this might be seen as a pivoting point for both companies as well. Oh, great movie. I recommend it to pretty much any superhero fans of Batman, fans of Supergirl, fans of even fans of Superman, because you get nice little treats in there, and also fans of Batman. You know, if you've grown up with all these great Batman movies, I think you're gonna really enjoy this. So anyways, that's it for my review. You guys let me know what you guys think, and all right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.